Enes, the only scene I remember about him is him drinking coffee.
As a matter of fact, we were thinking about changing his role as a barista.
Sometimes I see a camera on Enes 50 cent, you know, the vintage ones.
Zahid is always on work. You know what? Whenever I see him, he's always busy.
Sometimes he sits in front of the computer for hours without even blinking.
And what's left to us is only waiting what he's gonna come up with.
You're right. There's something I gotta tell you about it.
You know, he's a fixer guy. Whenever I ask him to do something, he always delivers it before the deadline.
One of the most terrible moments in a teen's life.
Is when they discover that head of business is a human being who shares a love that they can never quite taste.
It's a loss, an awakening to the fact that the world is there, and here we are in it alone.
The moment carries its own truth.
You can't evade it.
Not all heroes wear a cape.
They're just invisible.
Don't worry.
They are in safe hands at KADIKOYMUN'20.
Everyone believes that admins are slaves.
But without admins, there wouldn't be any organization.
They are the touchstones of this event. He's a great transporter.
They call him logistics, but if you ask me, he's the lord of the buses.
He's a weird boy with his up-level social behaviors and his way of understanding consigns. We love him anyways.
If Weasley twins were triplets,
The only thing he needs would be red hair.
If there were no muggles beneath us, he would definitely use Night Pass for logistics.
oh, he's a man of money.
All he thinks about is money.
If you give $1,000 to a poor person, he would go buy a new iPhone. But if you give that $1,000 to Safa, he would organize a new one. She behaves so strange.
To light a candle is to cast a shadow like a Pandora's box.
She definitely knows a lot more than you could have possibly imagined.
Secret agent.
She is the Black Swan. Working alongside him has certainly been a rather bizarre adventure.
Unlike the vast majority of people who hold money in such high regard.
He values words above all else.
He's particularly fond of catchphrases, so it would only be natural to assume that he has one himself.
Yare does it.
He was never there when I needed him.
He only appears when I don't need him.
Once, I was trying to explain him something about shuttles. When I asked the question about what I've just told, it was like he was not there for decades.
He is like a perfect representation of scene on WhatsApp. So to say, he is devil's advocate. He has that homeless network that he always talks about. And he says, an extra is always useful.
He always says, I know a guy who knows a guy who knows another guy. He knows things and people.
Being a different animal, but the same beast. That's what his mentality is all about.
He worked his fingers to the bone.
None in the world could organize an MVN with that much passion.
He's literally whole enchilada.
He always smells like, platinum.
Simply, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious Secretary General.
If I could build a statue of Ahmet Emin, I would make it out of platinum.
He used to be an MVNer like us before taking that arrow in the knee.